Tired of the negativity? Looking for a shot of optimism? Well, I have an inspiring story to make you smile right after this. This episode of Misfits and Crackpots is brought to you by the Well-Crafted Story Workshop. Struggling to connect with your audience and attract new clients? Transform your speaking skills at the Well-Crafted Story Workshop with Coach Jimmy Hayes Nelson and yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. In just 2 days, master the art of crafting compelling speeches that convert listeners into clients. Whether in-person or virtual, you'll get personalized attention in an intimate group, learning not just from expert coaches, but from fellow entrepreneurs. Don't let another opportunity slip away. Get your free story blueprint today at wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com and turn your story into your most powerful business tool. Your success starts here. Visit wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com now. You're just a well-crafted story away from 7 figures.
Hello there, my friend, and welcome to Misfits and Crackpots, short, inspiring stories for busy people. I'm Dr. Danny Brissell. This is a podcast for those interested in extraordinary stories about ordinary people and companies. Consider it your dose of positivity and inspiration for the week. Dolly Parton said, "We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails." This week's success strategy: anticipate change. In basketball, a player with the ball cannot move across the court without dribbling, but she can pivot all she likes. In business, a pivot means to modify the model slightly. This doesn't mean that the previous efforts were wasted or even misdirected. It simply means that the company has decided that a change in direction would be more fruitful than staying on the same course. While focus is key, it is important to always be on the lookout for new opportunities. In the mid-19th century, express companies were in the business of transporting money and other valuables safely. William Frederick Harnden was the founder of Harnden and Company, one of the first independent express companies in the United States. With his first consignment between Boston and Providence, Rhode Island, on March 4, 1839, he became the first person to send an express shipment by rail. Following the success of express shipping on this route, he expanded his business to ship express to New York City and Philadelphia. It was Harnden who hired Henry. Young Henry had a knack for the business, but he also was a restless soul. He quickly recognized the potential for expansion in the express shipping business. The ambitious young man repeatedly urged Mr. Harnden to expand his business westward to Buffalo and beyond. Harnden, however, had no interest in Henry's plan, but urged the young man to go into business on his own. Henry did just that. With 2 partners, he established an express service that operated between New York City and Buffalo. This route was no easy feat, requiring a combination of railroad travel and transportation by wagon or stagecoach. Despite the challenges, the business proved profitable, demonstrating his acumen for identifying and capitalizing on market opportunities. As Henry's business grew, he brought on another partner, William. Together, they expanded their express services to major Midwestern cities, establishing a significant presence in the industry. They weren't alone. John Butterfield, a wealthy and experienced transportation mogul, had also started his own express business. Recognizing the futility and wastefulness of competition, the 3 businessmen made a pivotal decision. They joined forces to create a new company. This merger would prove to be a turning point in the history of American business. The newly formed company, with Henry as its first president and William as vice president, quickly established itself as a formidable competitor to the United States Postal Service, USPS. By offering mail delivery at rates lower than the government's and providing the ability to ship larger parcels and valuable items, the company filled a crucial gap in the market. At a time when the USPS was known for its unreliability and limited service offerings, Henry and William's company provided a much-needed alternative. They could ship not just letters, but also jewelry, cash, stock certificates, and other merchandise, making them indispensable to businesses and individuals alike. Despite the success of their new venture, Henry and William's ambitions weren't satisfied. When the board of directors, including Butterfield, objected to extending the company's services to California, Henry and William took matters into their own hands. They organized another company to realize their vision of coast-to-coast express services while continuing in their roles with the original company. As the express shipping business grew, Henry and William's original company began to notice a trend. Banks and other financial institutions were becoming an increasingly important part of their customer base. These clients valued the secure and reliable delivery service that the company provided for transporting money and valuable documents. Recognizing the potential in this sector, the company made a pivotal decision to broaden its focus on financial services. In the 1890s, the company introduced two financial instruments that would greatly enhance the company's growth and expansion beyond America's borders: money orders and traveler's checks. These products addressed real needs in the market, providing secure ways for people to carry and use money, especially when traveling. While these financial products marked a significant departure from the company's origins in express shipping, it demonstrated the company's ability to identify new opportunities and adapt its business model to changing market conditions. The company did not yet know its good fortune. At the turn of the century, President Theodore Roosevelt considered the company's railroad express business a monopoly, raising the specter of potential government intervention. However, it wasn't until World War I that the most significant threat to the company's express business materialized. During the war, President Woodrow Wilson commandeered the railroads on behalf of the United States government to support the war effort. This action nullified all contracts between express companies and railroads, potentially devastating Henry and William's core business. Had the company remained solely focused on express delivery, it might have been decimated by this turn of events. However, the earlier pivot towards financial services provided a lifeline. The outbreak of World War I left over 150,000 Americans stranded abroad, and many turned to Henry and William's company's international offices for help. The company flourished by offering check cashing services, forwarding Americans' luggage, and helping them return to America safely, all services other businesses failed to provide. Following the war, the company continued to adapt and evolve. Building on its experience helping stranded travelers during the war, it expanded its travel services by offering luxury steamship travel around the world, along with other related services for passengers. This move into the travel industry represented another significant pivot for the company. By leveraging its international presence and reputation for reliability, the company was able to establish itself as a trusted name in travel services, further diversifying its business model. The Great Depression further tested the company's adaptability. While many financial institutions struggled or failed during this economic crisis, though, the company that Henry and William had co-founded managed to weather the storm. See, their company was technically not classified as a bank, which allowed the company to remain operational while many banks were forced to close. In 1958, the company made yet another pivotal move by issuing its first credit card. True to its roots, it differentiated itself from competitors by not allowing revolving debt. And to distinguish itself as more of an elite product, it charged customers higher fees for its card. By targeting a more affluent customer base, the company was able to carve out a unique and profitable niche in the rapidly growing credit card industry. Today, the company that Henry and William built is a leading issuer of personal, small business, and corporate credit cards. The company's travel-related offerings include traveler's checks, credit cards, corporate and personal travel planning services, tour packages and agencies for hotel and car rental reservations. It has offices across the globe, offering services in more than 40 countries. And the company even has a publishing division, which has produced such magazines as Travel and Leisure and Food and Wine. Looking to the future, one can only speculate about how the company copes with changing trends. What is certain is that the spirit of innovation and adaptability that Henry and William used to characterize their company throughout its history will likely continue to guide its course. That is, if they want to ensure continued success. The express service company that Henry and William created and adapted to shifting markets is what is now known as American Express. And the secondary company they created to compete in California is a bank that remains prominent in the banking industry to this day. It bears their last names, Wells Fargo. See, inspiration, my friend, is all around us. You just have to look for it. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another inspiring story about misfits and crackpots.
Misfits and Crackpots is a production of Success Media, produced by Terrence Wishner. Sound effects by Alessandro Lucati, courtesy of Pixabay. Thank you for tuning in. If you love today's story, there's so much more to explore in the book Misfits and Crackpots by yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. Grab your copy now on Amazon and dive deeper into the extraordinary lives of those who dared to change the world. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with fellow misfits who love inspiring stories. See you next time.